Hello everybody, Ian here, coming to you guys with a little tutorial. John was asking about how I went about making my objects move in my model. That is with dynamic components. A precursor to that, if anybody's new to Sketchup out there, there are groups and there are components in Sketchup. And the way that works is if you've got an object and you want to build a block on top of this object and you don't do anything, this becomes part of that block. So then to get around that, you select your entity, make it a group, and you can build your block on top of that, and it's separate. So that's that, and then you can make this a component, which then allows you to do other things with it. One of them being, if you make a copy, you change one, they both change. That can come in handy. You can also make them dynamic, which is what we're getting to. You'll need your dynamic toolbar buttons up here, these three. The finger activates it in this case. The component options, which we will not be using, but if you were to have a drop-down menu, which is the other dynamic component we use for kitchen cabinetry, so if we've got 20 different models, we can put those all into one dynamic component with a drop-down menu. So instead of 20, we've got one. If anybody would like to see a tutorial on how to do that, I can do that as well. It's fairly straightforward. You then have your attributes, which is where we'll be inputting the information to make it move. So for the door, which is what we'll be replicating here, you're going to want your rotation, what you want it to do, and the axis, the y-axis. The on-click, so the behavior is what you, how you want it to happen. The on-click lets you use the finger, and then what you're going to have it be doing, or whatever you want to call it. This can be any term you want here. So we've got our, let's make it a component. Alright, group 93. You can call it whatever you want. Just double click that. Lid 2. I will say try to avoid using like parentheses and plus and minus kind of math terms because they don't like those. So like 3.5 inches, you would want to type out inches instead of having the quote numbers, the quotes there. We want to add the attribute of the rotation and the axis of y. We can leave that blank for right now. We want to enter in what we're going to be doing. So I would say lid hinge, hit enter. Let's just add in 90 for right now, an arbitrary degree. It doesn't really matter what you put there. Let's add in now our on-click, so our behavior. We want to go up to function, the drop-down menu, animate, get your cursor inside the box, insert. Next we want to highlight the attribute word, and clicking on lid hinge should replace it. Let's select these now, and this is where we're going to be inputting the degrees of where you want the box to move to. Let's go in 0, 90. Oh, didn't work. So 0, 90, 180. Alright, and the final thing we need to do is let's click into the rotate Y, highlight that, and type equals, minus, and click on lid hinge. Hit enter. Don't ask me why it needs to be 90. The video I watched had that in there, and I've tried it without it, and it did some funny stuff, so I've just stuck with what works. So now let's test this, because sometimes these don't always work like they're supposed to. I have to kind of trial and error that, but get your finger, let's select the object. Yep, and it's doing what we want it to do. So pretty much as easy as that. With something like this door here, it would be a similar process, just rotate Y. For the legs, it would be rotate X. And then for things like the drawers, these are the same. On-click, drawer side are the same, but this would just be position and the direction you want it to move. Same ideas here. So I will say that one thing you want to double check also is right click and do change axis, and make sure that this access point is where you want it to rotate. If it was here, then it would rotate in the middle. So just double check that. I think that's it. If you guys want to see anything else, like I said, I am pretty decent at SketchUp since I use it every day. I'm not the best in the world, but I know a few tips and tricks, so let me know if you'd like to see anything else. Other than that, talk to you guys later.